New videos every day.
This is Athena Jezik, and today we're going to go through some cranial sacral therapy. And as you see, we have a different model. I'm going to be having the skeleton, the skull, that's close by so I can show you where I am. This is a difficult thing to demonstrate because it doesn't really have a lot of activity to watch. So I'll be explaining things as I go along. So to start with, what I do is check the alignment of the body by just getting my hands under the head and moving it around to see the flexibility there at the base of the cranium. And there's a little bit of a lean to the head. Down here at the feet, I pick up the legs, and what we look for here is heaviness in the legs. They're not overly heavy. We look for how they move with rotation. It feels like this right leg is a little tighter. And then when we place the legs, we're going to see what happens here. And this left leg is rotating outward farther than this right leg. And this is the leg that feels like there's something catching in that socket. So we'll see it probably is tying in somewhere into the sphenobasilar junction up here. So we're going to begin. As I was down in the feet, I did check for the rhythm. And here I'm just going to be going up the body on the diaphragms. And I'm not going to take as much time as I usually do because we usually wait for a little more movement to happen and follow it a little longer. One hand is on the spine. At the very first spot, it was on the sacrum, and then on the abdomen on the other side. Here it's about at T12, L1, right in that area, and right underneath the rib cage. And then we're going to move to the thoracic outlet, the diaphragm up here. We are at C7, and my hand goes down into the thoracic vertebrae. And there's probably up to C6, 7, and then down into the thoracic. And I've got my hand across the clavicles and the upper rib cage. And a lot of what this is just to relax a person down a little bit more and to get the body ready, the cerebrospinal fluid ready. And then we're going to put the hand underneath the neck and check the hyoid bone, which is underneath the chin, so across the vocal cords, the trachea. It's a floating bone. It has a lot of relationship with the shoulder, neck. And then we do our cranial base release where our fingers go under. I think we've done this one before. And locking those fingers underneath, holding the head up, and then just letting it relax. Pointing the energy, the fingertips toward the eyes. You don't want to be on the bone. You want to be just dropped off of that bone into the soft tissue, and you don't want to push with it. You want to just let the head relax down. Yeah. There we go. Okay, the first hole for cranial sacral is at the frontal bone. Hands are here, hooked in, across, and then it's an upward kind of a drag. It's not really a pull, but it's an energetic kind of a pull. It's hard to explain, but your hands are placed there, and then there's a little energetic pull upward. And what we're going to do is we're going to wait until we feel that frontal bone to move just slightly and wiggle around a little bit. Float. It feels like it floats on top of the membrane. And when it starts to do that. Normally in a session you follow it to the end, but you can get it to move and it'll finish itself off. It's just a little more effective if you follow it to the end. We're lifting up the bone, and it's lifting very nicely. It feels like the right side is lifting, then the left side is going, and then the right, so it's rocking itself up. But the sutures are opening along the parietal bone. And then from that position, the parietal bones, hands are placed there, pressing inward to open up the suture along the temporal. An inward push, very gently. It's more of an inward kind of a hold, and then we're going to pull upward. So there's two motions on that, and it's very lightly done. It's just a little tiny squeeze in there, straight up from the ears. And then a upward pull. Okay, and all these bones are making movement. I'm not leaving them without movement. The next bone is a tricky bone. It's this sphenoid bone, this red bone, and it's a very important bone. I think we've gone over this before, but where the red and the blue come together, that's a very important joint. It's the sphenobasilar junction. And the sphenoid bone is accessed at the wings, which are right at the temples. And so we're going to access this bone in this direction like this, and we're going to take it in a flexion extension, which is the natural movement of it. We're going to check to see the flexibility of that joint. And then from there, I'm going to test it in a couple other directions just to see how the range of motion is with it. And then at the very end, it's going to be a decompression up, which is going to give a lot of opening down into all of these sutures that are down in that area of the sphenobasilar junction. This work is tremendously relaxing when people will get into the work. Some people are so busy thinking about what's going on because they're not feeling a whole lot that their mind won't really shut down enough for the work to be as effective as it could be. Even if somebody is thinking or looking around, they're doing some work, but it's, like I say, it's not going to be quite as dramatic. Now, some of you may have noticed, if you can see her feet, but her foot that's rotated, it released, it had a jerk to it. So it released, and that happened at the same time that a release happened up in this sphenoid area. Now this is where we get into connecting what changes up in the head going down into the body, and oftentimes you can see it translated down into the body. So we got a nice release in the foot. And now I'm taking the sphenoid bone in a different direction. When cranial sacral work is done well, and the person on the table is also doing their part in allowing the work to happen, you can see her body is releasing all over. Their shoulders are just giving way too. The body will go into a very deep, deep state of relaxation. And when that occurs, the healing process can happen because there's not a lot of thinking going on. But one of the things that does happen is that the nervous system is able to really shut down, and any stress hormones that are being produced or have been produced and unable to turn off are finally able to relax out. So in some ways it's kind of like sedating the nervous system. So even if there's not any physical problems or emotional problems at this work you might need to have, if you just come in on a regular basis for deep relaxation, you would do your body in a tremendous amount of help. And you would find it over the long run a very accumulative effects to a lot better state of being, no matter how stressful life might become. Also, when you're working in the sphenoid bone area, that's where I find oftentimes the most significant changes that occur in the body, because it is the fulcrum of the body. So as that bone begins to correct on the joint, the other things will line up. You'll see probably the most activity going on in the body when you're on the sphenoid bone. But that doesn't stop. There's still a lot of body movement that happens on the other bones as well. Okay. All right, so the sphenoid bone opened up, and I'll be back for some more parts to this. So join in. This is Athena Jezik. Thank you.
If you liked this video, we have hundreds of more alternative videos ranging from sexual health to psychology to mind control. So if you liked it, go ahead and click on me to enter the Psychetruth channel.